You're welcome back. The Federal Inland Revenue Service is asking taxpayers in the country to continue to pay their value-added tax to the FIRS in order to avoid facing penalties or failing to do so. The FIRS issued the directive following numerous inquiries to the service in view of a recent judgment obtained by the Rivers State government at the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, in Rivers State, which ruled that states and not the federal government are constitutionally empowered to collect VAT. However, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has signed into law a bill which authorizes the Rivers State government to henceforth collect value-added tax in the state. Now, what does this mean? What reaction can we expect from other states? We have partner Africa tax leader at PwC, Mr. Taiwo Udili, to talk to us about this. Good to have you, Mr. Udili.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So first of all, we need to clarify, at this stage, because of the appeal from the FIRS, one of the conditions that they asked for was status quo remains. That means Nigerians are supposed to pay to the Federal Inland Revenue Service as at now, right?
Yeah, I'll say that it's not a straightforward question to address.
Okay.
Because lawyers would also tell you the fact that you file for a stay of execution in itself does not mean that you should stop the judgment from being enforced. So the good news, though, is that based on the VAT law, both the national, I'll call it national VAT law now, and the Rivers State VAT law require that you only file and pay, file your returns and pay your VAT on the 21st day of the succeeding month. In other words, this law that was signed into law on the 19th of August in Rivers State, assuming it came into effect immediately, taxpayers and businesses would only have to pay the VAT by 21st of September. So that gives us, even from today, almost 30 days. That's enough time, in my view, for the taxpayers and businesses in Rivers State, using whatever platforms they have in terms of association, organized private sector groups, to go to court and ask the court. I think the most competent authority to ask is the court. Ask the court, who should I pay to? Because if you go to FRS, from FRS, what do you think I will tell you? I say, pay
because the FRS just released this morning or last night to say that Nigerians should pay VAT to them.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong. But if you go to Rivers State, they'll say, pay to me. For the people on the ground there, the reality may be very different for them. So I'll advise that they ask the court to tell them what to do.
So legally, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
But we don't know only when it comes to Rivers State. Yes. Nationally, we're still where we were, which is VAT is to FRS.
And that is correct, 100%. In fact, this judgment is not the only one. We've seen a number of judgments at different points, even all the way to the Supreme Court. We've seen the ones that validated VAT and said you couldn't do consumption tax at the same time because VAT had covered the field of consumption tax, even Supreme Court. So it's not like this judgment is novel and is the first one, but nobody had taken the same effort and speed to try and implement as Rivers State.
As Rivers State.
The judgment was given on the 9th. By 19th, they had the law, 10 days.
Wow.
You know, that's a record. I'm sure fast. It's a record in Nigeria. You know, so the question is, could we have done it differently? And my answer is yes. You know, you don't want to win a war and lose the battle.
Right.
Even if you're legally right, what does it mean for businesses? That if I'm looking for where to put my business in Nigeria now, I'll certainly not go to Rivers State because it creates the uncertainty for me. Do you need to engage more? Engage with even the other governors, your fellow governors, engage with NEC, with FRS, even with taxpayers and practitioners. Your tax authority, do you have a unit? Have you trained them? We've seen one of my clients got a demand notice from Rivers State for VAT, and I was laughing. You're not supposed to issue, there's no provision in that law that says you give a demand notice. The law says you do your own VAT, calculate output, input, and remit to the authority 21 of the following month. They're sending. But they sent it, I think they had prepared it before. They just sent the same day.
Perhaps it's at teething.
Yeah.
Teething stages.
But looking at, collection, this is more responsibility for Rivers State. How do they have the capacity for this?
Yeah. So I like that question, actually. So I think we need to break it down a little bit. Historically, VAT is one of the newest taxes in the world. So it only came into the scene around the 50s and 60s. First country to implement it is France. So in Nigeria, as of 1963, when we decided we'll be a federation, and I still read that constitution this morning, I wanted to see what was it that we thought about at the time. There was no VAT, there was no consumption tax, but there was trade taxes. Trade taxes, particularly focusing on taxes on commodities. And it was on the exclusive legislative list, which means only the federal government can legislate it. If you then fast forward, you get to 1993. Before then, in 1986, the military issued an order or a decree of 6 stars. 6 stars was being implemented by a few states. In 1993, Nigeria decided we needed a VAT law. And the VAT law was meant to replace the sales tax. And that's exactly what we did. You would know that the VAT law in Nigeria predates the 1999 Constitution, which means we're already collecting VAT when we wrote the 1999 Constitution. But the problem with the 1999 Constitution is it gave you the exclusive legislative list, says this is only for the federal government. It gave you the concurrent, it says both of you can legislate on it. Both lists are silent about VAT. But the way the lawyers have interpreted it is if something is not in the exclusive and it's not in the concurrent, it is in an invisible list called residual list. And that residual list is therefore the exclusive remit of the state. That's where we are now.
Of the state?
Of the state.
Okay.
But this is what it means in practical terms. As of last year, the FRS collected 1.53 trillion from VAT. About 51% of that amount, more than half, came from VAT on imports and VAT on non-import foreign services. In other words, even if you change the law today to say every state should start collecting their VAT, more than half of VAT will still be collected by the federal government because states won't go to the border, right? So this federal government is only sharing 15%, right? FCT alone last year collected 202 billion naira, and FCT and the local government only shared 35 billion. So even FCT donated more than 160 billion to the port. So it's not a conversation between state and federal. State and local government are sharing 85%. The conversation we should be having, and maybe to your question about do they have the capacity, I don't think so. And I say that based on my experience and what I've seen in the past 20 years or more. All over the world, the highest revenue yielding tax is personal income tax. All over the world. South Africa in 2019 collected about 12 trillion naira from personal income tax alone. South Africa, less than 1/3 of our population. How much did we collect in Nigeria? 844 billion, not even 1 trillion. This is a tax that states have been collecting for before I started secondary school. The same states are empowered to implement stamp duties. Until FRS picked it up about 3 years ago, not even 1 billion, all of them combined. They were not collecting it at all. Property taxes. So we have enough evidence to come to a conclusion that what is good for Nigeria today is to find a format of VAT that satisfies the concern of some of the states, like Rivers State, which is valid, which is that I'm generating more than the other person I know.
Right.
And this other person I know, including those who say certain items should not be sold in their territories,
and they
are sharing the VAT. So those concerns are valid. We can address those concerns within a framework that work for us as a country in the interest of everyone.
But there's also the concern from some of the examples you've noted, some of the taxes that states are even supposed to be collecting, and they're not even doing well. Shouldn't the state focus on that and look for ways of efficiently collecting those taxes, and perhaps they would not even, be so...
That one.
That's exactly the point. So the issue is, if you focus on effectiveness and efficiency of collection, we should not be talking about this at all. The only conversation we should be having now is, that percentage you're giving me, is it the right percentage? Not that you want to start collecting it. If you think about what it means for businesses, I buy something in Kano, and I'm selling it in Lagos or in Port Harcourt. under a VAT system, you pay input VAT. I paid my input VAT in Kano. When I get to Port Harcourt and I'm selling it and have output VAT, how do I offset? If I sell at a lower amount than I bought it, for VAT, you have a refund. Would Rivers State give me a refund of what I paid to Kano State? What if I'm producing those goods for exports? After exporting it, I'm supposed to get a refund because we zero rate it in Nigeria. Who will give me that refund? Many countries where they have fiscal federalism like us, Canada, US, Australia, India, everybody has developed their own formats of what is good for them. In Canada, for example, you have the GST, Goods and Services Tax, at the federal level, and every province is able to add their own to it, and they call it provincial sales tax. You know, a province like Alberta decided that they don't want it, so it's zero for them. They only collect the federal one. Ontario decided they need additional 8%. The US is not a good example, though. They do sales tax in all the states. And in fact, one of the biggest conversations in the US is that that sales tax is no longer fit for purpose because it hasn't considered the digital economy. So you're in California, but your other goods from New York. So the way the sales tax was designed in the US is where you are selling it, you charge the tax. But you're sending it to California where I will use it. They are struggling with it, so we shouldn't copy from them.
Okay.
Yeah, but we must find a model that works for us as a country.
So it's still a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
Even in Rivers State or in any other state.
And the Constitutional Review Amendment that we are going through now is a fantastic opportunity to address these issues.
To address that. And we do hope that the judiciary, the legislators will take this into consideration and then we'll be able to satisfy all of that. Well, we need to thank you so much, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, for spending this time with us and exposing to us that we still have a lot of conversations to hold to satisfy this issue.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope that this time around we're able to get to a conclusion because, like, you know, that there have been other cases even before now, talking about tax and even other countries. I think one of the conversations should also be like, things are changing, like the digital issue you brought up now. Things are changing. We need to change with times and
some people are actually excited about this, saying this is true federalism. So
yes, some people say that, and that it will also challenge states to produce more inward because they know they will get more.
Yes, those are all valid. It's just a question of let's balance it so that you're not gaining one and losing two.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, Africa Tax Leader at PwC.
Thank you
enjoy the
very
rest
much
of your day.
Thank you.